And we are joined now by Maryland Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen. Senator, thank you so much for being with me. I want to start with this short-term delay in the deadline for federal workers to take a deferred resignation. You represent hundreds of thousands of federal workers who live in your state of Maryland. What's your message to constituents who are trying to decide what to do?
Well, Nancy, it's good to be with you. My message has been proceed with great caution before you jump at this proposal. It's a proposal that really came from Elon Musk. The memo that came out to federal employees was labeled fork in the road, which is exactly the language that Elon Musk sent to his employees at one of his companies. So I think they need to proceed with great caution. It's not clear that the Trump administration has the authority to do this. So I'm glad that the judge paused this today.
Russell Vought, who is the president's nominee to lead the Office of Management and Budget, or OMB, he's one of the architects of this fork in the road buyout plan. And you and other Democratic senators have been essentially filibustering on the Senate floor, talking for 24 hours straight to try to hold up a confirmation vote for Russell Vought. Now, why did you decide to take that approach on this one particular nominee? And can we expect to see a similar strategy for others?
Well, you're right, Nancy. I just spent a lot of time today on the Senate floor urging my colleagues to vote against Russell Vought. He was the architect of Project 2025. And, you know, it's interesting to think back to the campaign when Donald Trump was asked about Project 2025. He said, I don't have anything to do with it, don't know anything about it. Well, he is installing the architect of that Project 2025 in this key position in the White House. The OMB director is like the command and control guy for the budget of the U.S. government. And at his hearing in the Budget Committee, he refused to agree that he would comply with the law, specifically the Impoundment Control Act. And that's, you know, one of the executive orders, illegal executive orders issued by, President Trump. One of the ones that is subject to a temporary restraining order is exactly that, the illegal withholding of funds. So Russ Vought was in this position before. He broke the law before, according to GAO. I really hope our Republican colleagues have second thoughts.
Do you think they will?
Based on the discussion on the Senate floor, the answer is no. But I would just say the reason you're seeing this flood of lawsuits is because you're seeing a flood of illegal executive orders. You have Elon Musk literally taking over agencies of the federal government. And at some point, you would hope that Republican senators would recognize that the constitutional authority given to Congress under Article 1 is just being slashed and burned by President Trump and Elon Musk. So I hope at some point they decide to respect the Constitution and their responsibilities under the Constitution.
Senator, I want to ask you about the major cuts at USAID. Here's what Secretary of State Marco Rubio, your former Senate colleague, told U.S. diplomats in Guatemala City yesterday behind closed doors. He said the United States is not walking away from foreign aid. It's not. We're going to continue to provide foreign aid and to be involved in programs, but it has to be programs that we can defend. It has to be programs we can explain. It has to be programs we can justify. He seemed to suggest there that some of the programs that have been put on hold are going to be restored on a case-by-case basis. Is that at all reassuring to you?
It's not, and here's why. It's become pretty clear that Marco Rubio, Secretary Rubio, is not in charge of the operations at AID. Elon Musk is in charge of the operations over AID. And it was Elon Musk who tweeted out the other day that he was putting AID through the wood chipper. He said he was going to kill AID. He called it a criminal enterprise, which should be a surprise to my colleagues on both sides of the aisle who have recognized for years on a bipartisan basis that AID is a very important part of our national security and foreign policy strategy. So, no, we got this letter from Secretary Rubio saying he wanted to consult with Congress when days before Elon Musk shut down the Agency for International Development, told everybody to go home, has told everybody from overseas to come back to the United States. And when I, with a number of colleagues, tried to go to AID, and get in the building to talk to AID employees, they refused to let us in. So Elon Musk is in control, not Secretary Rubio.
I want to ask you about another major foreign policy matter. That's Israel and Gaza. You sit on the Foreign Relations Committee. You have called the president's plans for the U.S. to take over Gaza ethnic cleansing. The White House now says that under the president's plans, the Palestinians would only be displaced temporarily. They say the effort wouldn't involve U.S. troops, nor somehow would it involve any U.S. cash, even though the president says we would own it and redevelop it. Do you think he's serious about this plan? And as far as you can tell, do your Republican colleagues think he's serious about this plan?
Well, I don't know. All I know is what the president said. And what the president said was that he wanted to transfer 2 million Palestinians out of Gaza. He said he would be prepared to use the U.S. military to clean out Gaza. That is ethnic cleansing by another name. He says he wants to redevelop Gaza, and that maybe someday some of those Palestinians can come back. Well, this is all a bunch of, I don't know if he's serious or not, but if he is, it's just astounding to hear a president of the United States say that they want to use U.S. power, influence, and even the military to forcibly transfer 2 million people from their homeland.
Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland, thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate it.
Good to be with you.